Okay, I keep hitting admit with these folks. All right, there we go. All right, so folks, I have 5 people who have completed their activity, their essay. So let's give a few minutes, let's say another 30 minutes for people to finish working on their Halloween story. And then we want to share. I already have one volunteer for sharing this story. So, and I'd really love to have more. So if you know your story is a really good story, you can put in the chat that you want me to check yours out and that you want to share. All right. So again, 30 minutes. So roughly about 10:40, 10:45. We can start sharing. If you are already finished with the unit that we're, okay, Jayla, I'll tell you in a second. I mean, actually, let me pull it up. Um, if you're already finished, the unit that we're going to do next week is population. So I've opened that up. We are done with this energy unit. So let me pull up um, what you should be doing today. All right, so Jayla, it's on your hello.
I have a question. Does it really have to be that
Okay,
scientific,
give
or
me.
can it have a little bit natural?
I'm I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you well. It's kind of coming up broken.
I said, does it really have to? Does it have to be super scientific, or does it can it be a little bit supernatural?
It can be a little supernatural because it is Halloween. But at the end of the day, because you are the forensic scientist, I mean, not forensic, you're the environmental scientist, you got to have some scientific facts in there. So at the end of the day, you want the conclusion to have been proven by evidence that you found. Okay, so you can put some supernatural things in there that people believe.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you might have talked to witnesses and they might have shared their stories with you. And maybe based on some of their stories, you did a little scientific fact checking. Okay, that good?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for asking. All right, so in case you were absent yesterday, no Aiden, but I will check right now. In case you were absent yesterday, um, the assignment, oops, hold on. I just changed it. I keep forgetting I can't. Brrr. All right, let me go back, go back, go back. All right, so the assignment, if you look at your to-do list on your homepage, that's where you'll find it. And the assignment was that you are checking out kind of a spooky environmental issue that the town is very concerned with, and I highlighted this area here. So what the items in question, and again, for those of you who aren't finished, this is a reminder that your story has to answer what is the murky green substance in the lake? Why are the animals disappearing? What is the strange odor that they're smelling, and why are the plants withering? So in your report, you've got to try to answer all of those questions. Okay. Now you can give some, and so the town folk believe the place is cursed. So this might have been something that happens on a regular. Maybe every Halloween this happens. Who knows? Oh, Neve, you're all dressed up. Um, so that's something to consider. So if when you're talking about spooky folklore, you can talk about the fact that the town believes the reason why does the town believe it's cursed? Okay, no problem. All right. So again, because you're the scientist and you have to believe that this is caused by some environmental issues, you're going to try to prove that this is not that the town is cursed. This is why this keeps happening. And like I said, it might happen every year around Halloween. So there might be a reason, a seasonal reason for this happening. All right, so again, you're creating a short story. You have contamination stations. You don't have to have all of these, but you have to have reasons why all this stuff is coming into the lake. So you could be a factory doing this, a farm doing it, somewhere where there's a runoff site that's adding pollutants to the water. All of these could be possibilities. You should, in your story, you should show that you've collected water samples, soil samples, and tested the vegetation so that you know exactly, which means you might have to say what kind of plant it is and what happens to that plant when it's exposed to whatever chemicals you come up with. Okay. So you're identifying, and then I suspect is in quotes because the suspect might be a chemical, as well as identifying the source of the chemical. So that's your suspect. Um, Draw a conclusion based on your clues, and then have a final statement that what report are you giving to the town council as to why you believe this is happening? Okay. All right. So that was mostly for the benefit of those who either didn't get started yet or weren't here yesterday. The rest of you, so if you haven't finished your story, tweak your story so that you make sure that you have all of those things in it. So yes, you can have some spooky stuff because it is a Halloween. However, at the end of the day, you need to have some scientific reasons for all that spooky stuff. Okay. All right. So again, let's give, now that I've talked through this, let's give it until 11 o'clock and then we'll start sharing. Again, if you're already done, um, go ahead and look at the next unit. Whoops. I can go back to sharing. Hold on. All right, go ahead and look at the next module. Actually, if I do it this way, that's faster. Page not found. Why can't I look at it as a student? Okay, be like that. It's Halloween. All right, so you want to look at human population growth. I'm going to be looking at those gizmos while you all are writing your essays. So I will check that right now. Okay, everybody good? And again, if you have any outstanding assignments and you're already done with this one, make sure that you work on those. But do go through this. The first page is always the page that has the vocabulary. So please look at, because these vocabulary, we're going to have graphs and charts and a little bit of math. So take a look at these, try to get a grasp of what that is about. And we're going to start that on Monday. So go ahead and look at least the definitions and the first unit if you're already done. Okay. All right. All right. So gonna do it. Gonna check attendance. Gonna check GoGuardian. Make sure everybody's working. All right, so again, you shouldn't just be logged in to go to class. Everyone, I look at GoGuardian, I shouldn't see me. I should see you busy at work. I shouldn't see idle for the last 15 minutes like I'm seeing on here. Got two people, and the same two people all the time. I have to start sending out a notice on these two people because you're logged in all the time. I'm going to start marking you absent. If you log in and then it says idle for the whole class, that's not being present. Okay. You're still required to be on camera. You're supposed to be on topic, working in this class, not somebody else's class. All right, so like I said, I need to make a note of these same two people. Okay. Avery checking now. Mm. Goodness, did I just? You can move it first. You know what did disappear? All right. Sorry, I was let time get away from me. We have somebody who wants to share their story. And if anybody else wants to share their story, go ahead and put it in the chat. Okay, I'll look at yours as well. All right, Imani, you want to come off mic and read yours, please?
You want me just to read? Nothing? Just read it?
If that's up to you. You can read it or you can tell a story off the top of your head. That's up to you.
Oh, okay. I'll read it.
Okay.
Okay. The way I set it up, I got like multiple characters. So like
Okay, that's fine.
different they're gonna be different lines. I'm gonna say their name before I say what they said, just so you know who's talking.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Let me see. Okay. So this story is called Witch's Lake or whatever. Okay, I'll read it. There was a city. This city was known for their love for spooky season. In Town Square, there was a beautiful lake that started changing over time every year.
Is it just on my side or are
Okay.
you breaking up in general?
There was a group of girls who always met up.
I can't hear you now at all. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. I went on mute because I tried to fix it. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll just restart. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There was a city. This city was known for their love for spooky season. In Town Square, there was this beautiful lake that starts changing color over time every year in October. There was this group of girls who always met up every weekend at that lake. But it wasn't just them. Everyone loved that lake. People were sitting next to it all the time, every day. But then it all changed. October 20th, and the group of girls, one of the girls, Lily, was the first person at the lake. But as she was walking towards the lake, she realized something was wrong. There were no animals or no people around the lake today like usual. As she slowly continued walking towards the lake, she suddenly let out a breathless whine of horror. I'm gonna do something so crazy, okay? I'm gonna scream. Ah! Who did this? Let me take a picture into the chat. She said she went back to normal and took the picture. But she was but as she was taking the picture, the rest of the girls showed up. Girl, we can hear you from literally the other side of town. What's up with you? Taylor, crazy, she said as she continued typing on her phone. We have to figure out who did this. No, we don't. Who do I look like? Said Imani. Taylor, I personally don't care. Lily, it's settled. You know my mom is like a pro environmental science or whatever she call it. We can like use her office or something. And I love this like more than anyone. We became friends here. So if you don't do this with me, you hate me and you want me to die. Monty and Taylor both look at each other. Taylor shrugged her shoulders and Monty put her face in her palm as she shook her head. Lily leaned down and took her empty cup of coffee and scooped up some of the green lake water. She closed it with the lid and took out her phone and called them back an Uber. The girls eventually reached their destination. They stepped out of the car and entered Lily's house. Lily's mom greets them. Lily's mom, welcome back. What y'all back so early for? Lily, mom, can we use your office? Mom, for what? The girls explained the situation to Lily's mom. Lily explained how she believed the lake was cursed. Monty and Taylor shake their heads as they don't know how to tell Lily that was eventually going to happen to the lake. But Lily is very in denial. The mom took the girls to the office as it was filled with tools and science stuff. She hands the girls these gloves and these protective glasses. Monty, we look so smart. The girls nod in agreement. Her mother grabs the lake microscope. She takes some time to it. It was bored. They already knew what caused the water color to change. On the other hand, Lily thought the longer her mom took, the worse the situation. About 20 minutes passed, and her mom took some notes on her notepad. Lily, it's cursed, isn't it? I knew it. Lily's mom. No, actually, it's just a of algae, like lots can multiply quickly in waterways with over abundance of nitrogen and phosphorus, particularly when the water is warm and the weather is calm. This proliferation, I don't know how to say it, causes blooms of algae that turn the water noticeably green, but there are still lots of waste. Most likely, it's from people. The algae is not really something we can 100% fix, but the waste part we can try to convince people to stop throwing stuff in the lake. Possibly, this could also be one of the factories not too far from the lake. These factories, including oil refines, pulp and paper mills, and chemical electronics, and also automobile manufacturers, typically discharge one or more pollutants in their discharge waters. Some factories discharge their influence directly into water body. This could also affect the waters, or in this case, the lake. Lily was very happy to know that the lake wasn't cursed by a witch or something, and that it was partially fixable. Lily, we can make signs telling people not to throw waste in the lake. Taylor, what makes you think that they're gonna listen to us? Lily, well, if they don't, they get a $200 fine. Duh. Money sounds good to me. I can draw. Taylor's good at crafting, and this is Lily's motto, so it shouldn't be too hard to do. The girls made their plan to help stop from polluting the lake. They made many different signs and set them around the lake to let people know and raise awareness on how just throwing stuff in the lake is bad for it and it can affect others in the community. Lily was a little sad seeing the crystal blue water turn green, but she soon learned to embrace it as she started to call it Witch's Lake because of the color and how the fog floated on top of the water on cold nights. It's now Saturday, October 31st, Halloween night. The girls came down to the lake to see some animals by the lake again and zero trash floating through it. They're happy to see all their effort not go to waste and the lake could hopefully go back to how it used to be. All done.
Thank you. That was quite animated. But that's a nice story. And I like the happy ending. Thank you so much. All right, I had another volunteer to read this story, but they don't want to read it, so I'll read it for them. All right, this is Ethan's. All right, a murky green water seems to have some lumps in it. You can take it out and take out your test tube that you brought to collect some water samples. After testing the water sample, you see some peeled green and some blood cells. You look back at the water, you see a body, and you drag it out thinking the person could be alive, but they are far from being alive, and the body has skin torn off by a canine. But it's obvious that it's not a wolf or a coyote, not because of the uncommon, not because they're uncommon in the region that you're in, but the bites are precise and the chest cavity and ribs are torn open, the heart crushed from the bite from the canine creature, and the brain is visible. Ooh, gory. All right. You could hear the howl in the distance. You follow the sound of the howl and it leads you to an abandoned water dam. You check inside to see a collection of brutally killed people. The creature is nowhere in sight. The creature comes back and sees you. The creature resembles a canine and you. However, the eyes look demonic, Lack of lights make the creature difficult to see. You find out it's a normal wolf, another canine species instead of a hellhound that howls demonically at you. The, the hellhound lunges at you. Did I read that wrong? You found out that it's not a normal wolf or another canine. Instead, it's a hellhound and it growls demonically at you. The hellhound lunges at you and the demonic growl mixed with the bark, but you are too late to get out of the way. It pounces at you and starts clawing at you. The hellhound now in the moonlight is completely visible to describe. The hellhound is black, has the hellhound has black spike-like fur, razor-sharp teeth, and a tail like a spiked mace, and the teeth are sharp and blood-stained. You could escape, but the hellhound is too strong. You see part of the water dam's turbines sticking out at you to sticking out. You turn to put the electrical gloves on you brought in case you needed them, and then you pull the metal turbine piece out of the ground and it comes out with uninsulated copper wires in it. And you hit it against the hellhound and make sure the metal piece of the turbine makes a contact with the hound. The impact mixed with the power grid that would have been enough to kill a man in minutes only knocks the hellhound out temporarily. All right. And you run away, but the hellhound catches up. All right, this is an incomplete story. You haven't solved the crime. While it's interesting, you haven't solved the crime yet, but it's a good start. Yes, it's always a cliffhanger. Okay. Yes, we want, so there's a lot of cliffhanger there. We want to know, did you get away? Is it the hellhound reason why the lake is contaminated? I'd like an end to this story. All right. Thank you for sharing though, or wanting it to be shared. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. I got a lot of people who want me to check theirs. So I will do that. I still see that everybody isn't finished. I was so busy reading these, I didn't get a chance to check your gizmos, but I am going to check those as well during my lunch break. So all of that will be checked before the weekend. Okay. All righty. Ethan, do you want to report? Are you going to survive this in order to report this to the town council? I'm going to send this back so you can add to it. Don't change anything, just conclude it. Okay, submit, reassign. All right, so that's been reassigned for you because I need an ending to that story. All right, who is this who asked me to read? All right, Talicia, I will read yours. Oops. All right, so only half of you have submitted so far, so I need everybody to get this done. This is due today, so please use the remaining time to fine tune your story and put an ending on it. All right. Talicia, can I read yours out loud? Okay, and Andre wants me to read his too. Okay. All right. Samantha Davis and her science team were called to investigate strange events at the town's forest. After Halloween, the lake turned murky green, the animals disappeared, plants were being withered. The once beautiful forest was now filled with odd smells and signs of decay. The team knew they needed to collect samples of water, soil, and plants to understand what was happening. At the lake, Samantha's team noticed strange yellow spots on the withered plants and dark particles floating in the green water. They carefully took samples of everything that looked unusual. Back at the lab, they examined the samples under the microscope and they found the small yellow spots in the water and soil and plants, and they suspected these spots were connected to the strange changes in the forest. During their research, the team discovered a type of contaminant named ominous cloud. The virus seemed to form certain chemicals, possibly near the factory or farm. mixed together in the lake. Samantha and her team now were sure that the pollution was not a Halloween curse and was behind the problem. To stop the virus, they worked to find a natural solution. After many tries, they found a mix of turmeric, and I love turmeric, and charcoal and chia seeds and cocoa powder and lemon juice that they could clean the spots. The combination helped neutralize the ominous cloud contamination. Samantha's team shared their findings with the town council. They recommended filtering the lake, cleaning up the contaminated area, and setting up new rules to limit pollution nearby the factories and to the nearby factories and farms. The council agreed to the plan, hoping that they could restore the forest and bring the animals back. Good story, good story. Thank you so much. All right. Andre, I'm going to read yours next. All right, got yours up. All right, the investigation begins. As the sun dipped behind the horizons, casting an eerie shadow over the town, of our team environmental scientists gathered at the edge of what was once a pristine lake and now is murky green, rippled with ominous. You got some punctuation issues here. All right, let's see. The once pristine lake. The water is now murky green and rippled ominously. As we prepared to investigate the contamination that had plagued the town and plagued the town, armed with, and I would love to send this back for you to put some punctuation in here. Armed with sampling kits, we ventured into the spooky forest where the air was thick with unsettling silence. Okay. I mean, the story is good. You just need a punctuation. All right. The unsettling sign. Our first stop was a nearby factory rumored to have been dumping waste into the waterway. We're collecting samples. At the factory, we collected water samples from the runoff where the darkened liquid flowed into the lake and revealed high levels of metals and chemicals that could have been harmful for both aquatic life and humans. Next, we moved to the nearby farm where we examined the soil vegetation, and the soil was dry, cracked dry and cracked. Plants were withering and showing signs of chemical burns. Our tests indicated the presence of pesticides and fertilizers that had seeped into the ground, likely from over-application. Finally, we ventured deeper into the forest and we found some small streams. We found a small stream that fed into the lake. The water here was clear but had an unusual odor, hinting as possible sewage contamination. As we analyzed the samples, it became clear that the factory was the primary suspect in this environmental disaster. The heavy metals found in the water sample matched the profile of the industrial waste, while the agricultural runoff from the farm contributed to the contamination of the soil and vegetation. These factors created a toxic environment that not only affected the lake, but also threatened the wildlife and the health of the townsfolk. With our findings, with our findings in hand, we prepared to present to the town council a proposed immediate solutions, including implementing stricter regulations on waste disposal of the factory and estimation establishment of water filter systems to clean the lake. And additionally, we recommended the cleanup operation to remove contaminated soil and restore the natural habitat. By addressing these issues, we aim to save the town from the spooky phenomenon and restore the beauty of the lake in the forest. And our investigations revealed human activities, particularly from the factory and agricultural practices that were responsible for the contamination. Through scientific reasoning and commitment to environmental stewardship, we could help the town reclaim the beauty and ensure that healthier future for the residents. Love this story. You need punctuations. Okay. But this was a great story. All righty. I got time for one more. Okay. Yes, it had a great ending. I did. I loved it, loved it, loved it. All right, anybody else want me to you want to take a chance and let me read yours? Anybody want to read their own? Hmm. All right, Janila, I like yours. You made up because I've never heard of this. She's got a high concentration of microcystic I can't even pronounce that second word. Is that a real organism or did you make that up? Janila, I'm reading yours. Did you just make that up? It's real. All right. All right. So while I'm on it, I'll just go ahead and read it out loud. All right. So in her story, they collected water samples from the lake and they analyzed and found high concentrations of that cystic A word. Chemical analysis showed elevated levels of phosphates in the lake inlet. There was less green than in the lake center. This sample was also contained the MC organism. I'm going to call it MCA in the lower concentrations. Also detected traces of other chemical solvents. The town's well, this water was clear and showed no signs of algal bloom or chemical solvent. The sample collected from the soil in the forest was dry and crumbly. Analysis showed low pH was suspected and found traces of the same chemical solvent that was in the lake. In the farmland, the soil had high pH and suggested heavy fertilizer use. The factory outflow pipe to the soil around the outflow pipe was heavily saturated and discolored. It contained high concentrations of the chemical solvents and heavy metals, including cadmium and lead. The samples collected from the vegetation of the withered plants showed signs of chloris, the yellow coloring of the leaves, and necrosis, which is tissue death. Analysis showed the presence of heavy metals, of cadmium and plant tissues. In algae from the lake, this was primarily that AMCA word, and cyanobacteria associated with nutrient pollution. Control samples of this sample served as the baseline for comparison. The most likely suspect for the contamination is human activity from industrial pollution from the nearby factory. The factory could be discharging pollutants into the water, leading to the observed environmental issues. The solution would involve implementing stricter regulations and on the factory's waste disposal, and initiating a cleanup operation, and then educating the public on the importance of environmental conservation. Thank you much. That was good. All right. I'm sorry I messed up reading it. When it's not your own, it's kind of hard to read, but that was good. That was good. All right, folks. So we are quickly running out of time. So make sure that you get your assignment in. You enjoy your Halloween and be safe. And again, we'll start the new unit on Monday. All right. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you.
Got my balloons on me.
I saw that. Oh, that's right. I forgot to wish you happy birthday.
It's
Oh,
fine. Have a great day.
okay, you too. I made a note of it too. And I was sorry. Enjoy your day. And I did write that down, and I surely did not. Yeah. I did write that on something. Attendance.